Alright, this is a pitch video for SGDQ2016 for the Elder Scrolls Chapter 1 Arena, or just Elder Scrolls Arena. First game in the Elder Scrolls series. It is one of the worst ones. So let's get started here. That doesn't mean it's not a broken speedrun though. So case in point, before we start the speedrun, we have to load up a save first, because you might have noticed there that there is this really dumb dissolve effect, and that makes the text go like 4 times as slow as it normally would. So we load a save to, 1, crank down the detail here, because this is also important, and then turn off the dissolve effect by default. Then we go into new game. So that's super quick to do. It's not a huge setup procedure to get this going. So let's get started here in 3, 2, 1, go. So in Arena, we start off with our character creation here. We're going to make a Night Blade, which I'll explain later. Name has to be Puri or something like that because of control issues in the game. We make a male Dark Elf as our character, and we got a good roll right off the bat. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. So I was looking at my gold. And I need my gold to be over 180, and the very first roll I got was 192. So I need to pick up this here, okay. Let's save just for good measure. Okay, and get going here. So this is the first dungeon. I'm already caught on a rat, it seems. Great. Okay, so there are 2 different spawn patterns that you can get in the first dungeon, and I got a bad one already. So there's, you could either get rats, or you can get goblins. I prefer to get the one that has goblins, because they give consistent XP, and there's more of them. But this still works too. The only real problem with this is that sometimes you're a bit like under XP'd, under leveled, however you want to say it. But we should be good here. The only important bit for the first dungeon is that I'm level 2 by the time I leave. So we'll see here. Here we go. Okay, got it. Alright, and we got a good level up. Excellent. Okay, this is pretty much ideal. So I'm losing time because I had the rat version of the dungeon. But I will take that, because it gave me a really good speed stat, which I didn't have in my world record. And I didn't die in the first dungeon, which is also ideal. Okay, so here I want it to be daytime. You can't really do anything. Oh god, you can't really do anything in Arena unless it's daytime, and that's one of the parts of RNG in the run. There's very little RNG compared to other Elder Scrolls games, but the most significant one is the day-night cycle. So this is kind of the procedure for making it daytime again. You have to go in and out of the city, and now here, here I know that it's daytime because there's a slight pause when the music loads, because this is a very old DOS game. You can see there the whole thing just kind of stops while it loads in the new music, which is actually handy because it tells me exactly when it's daytime. Okay, so here is a magic shop. I'm going to be buying 3 spells, but before I do that, I need to go into my spellbook here and delete the 2 that are already in here. So I'm going to get 3 spells. The first one will be a invisibility spell. That's got to be 10 rounds per 2. That'll be handy, so that stuff won't attack us. Second one is levitate. Come on. Come on, levitate, 2 per 2. And the last one is a fortify speed spell. Your stats max out at 100, and because my speed's already 70, I just need that to be 30. Okay. And we have just enough to buy all those. Alright. So the 3 spells that I got, invisibility is just going to make it so I'm not attacked in the dungeon that we're going to be in. Levitate is needed because there's some water we have to cross in the dungeon. And fortify speed is to move a lot faster, like through towns and inside dungeons. So we got our speed stat is as fast as it can go right now, so this is as quick as you can go. in Arena. So there's the first quest giver. She's the Queen of Rahad. Essentially how the main quest in Arena is structured. You start off captured in the Imperial Dungeons because the Emperor has been, like, kidnapped, kind of, and there's an imposter Emperor and all this crazy business. So you were inside of the Imperial Dungeon, and you were saved by the spooky ghost of the dude who's impersonating the Emperor, Jagar Tharn, his dead apprentice. It's crazy, but don't worry about it too much. There's the first quest item. Some parchment. I need to not fall in the water. Good. Okay. So anyways, your first thing you have to do is escape that dungeon that you were in. And then once you're level 2, you get a quest prompt from Spooky Ghost Lady saying, hey, you should go to Rahad and talk to the Queen. She can help you out. And then you learn that your quest is to gather the 8 pieces of the Staff of Chaos. Because that is kind of the only thing that can save the Emperor at this point. Because he's trapped in, like, a crystal somewhere. So that is pretty much what you're doing in the main quest of Arena. So here's the levitate spell, by the way. Going through water in this game is really slow. So we have levitate. An important thing in Arena... Oh, jeez. Okay. An important thing... in Arena is the way that the spell system works in this. Spells work on, like, a round-based system, which... it's kind of weird how that even works. Okay. Did that. I need to get my MP back. Hopefully I can sleepwalk here. Okay, I can sleepwalk. Alright. Go up here to Winterhold. Alright. So hopefully I can get a glitch here called sleepwalking. Okay. So, this is a glitch called sleepwalking. Oh god. And I just screwed it up. Alright, hold on. Okay. We want it to be daytime here. I almost screwed it up. We're good now, though. So what initially happened there was when I zoned into town, it was daytime, but there was an extra fog effect on the screen. And when that extra fog effect is on screen, you move at about half to 2/3 of your regular walking speed. So you do not ever want that to really happen. But I used a glitch called sleepwalking, where you can start a long period of sleep inside the dungeon here, right next to the exit. So I just set it to 122 hours. Start the rest period, and then walk out of the exit of the dungeon, so that when I actually arrive at my destination, I'm still sleeping. I'm still resting. Which you're not intended to do. Like, if you go to a town and you hit the rest button, it'll just say, you can't rest here, you're in town, what are you doing? Just go to an inn. And, like before, you can't really do anything in Arena unless it's, daytime. So, otherwise what you'd have to do is, if you came to a town and it was nighttime, you'd have to turn around, rest outside of the city walls, hope you don't get ambushed by enemies, which can happen, and then keep doing that until it's daytime again. But if you use the sleepwalking technique, you can't really get ambushed most of the time. There's like some preset ambushes that can happen, where there's like a little cutscene, but besides that, it's really safe. And the also other added benefit of that, come on, is that if you get that extra fog texture that makes you move slow, it gets rid of that texture because of the day-night cycle thing. It just forgets that that texture is supposed to be there. So that works out nicely. Okay. Alright, we're going to Velenwood. Okay, so because I didn't get the spooky ghost cutscene here, I need to turn around here. Let's just split there. I need to turn around here, exit, and then rest for 1 hour to get the spooky ghost cutscene. So this will actually let me continue with the quest. And luckily it's still daytime, so we can continue forward here. So this one, this area of town, I'm not concerned really about that fog effect, because it almost never happens here. There's only certain towns where you see it a whole bunch. So you might be watching this and saying, streamer, why do you keep going in the same dungeon over and over again? Isn't there, like, variety to this game? This is an Elder Scrolls, right? Right? Well, your eyes are not deceiving you. We are, in fact, going to the same dungeon over and over again. So, this is Elder Scrolls Arena version 1.07, the latest version of Arena, the most heavily patched, feature-complete version that Bethesda released. For whatever reason, in this version alone, the latest version of Arena, they introduced a bug where you can infinitely pick up the first quest item in the game, and each time you do that, it counts as advancing the quest in the main quest in the game. So, what the procedure here is that we go and start the main quest. We talk to the quest giver who starts the first leg. We go to Stonekeep. We pick up the parchment there, and that counts that step of the quest as being complete. Then, we just go to a small town so that loads quickly, and then go right back in here, which is what we're doing now. We're on the second leg right now of this area. We go in here and we pick up the parchment again, and then it says, "Hey, you picked up whatever piece of the Staff of Chaos. Good job." And then, so that's marked as complete in our main quest thing. And then before we leave, we rest for 1 hour right here to get Spooky Ghost Lady to tell us that, hey, we're pretty good at this staff finding thing. Here's where you can find the next one. And that's how that works. So you could just pretty much keep doing this over and over again. Okay. Now I need to get this to daytime. Okay. So I just right-click once it turns to daytime, and that stops the sleepwalking glitch. So it looks real crazy, the sleepwalking thing, because you can just see the time lapse going with the day-night cycle. But it looks cool and it works. That's all that matters to me, I guess. Sometimes it doesn't work, but usually it works. Alright. So regarding, like, as intended gameplay here of Arena, Arena is actually the largest, pretty much the largest Elder Scrolls. Like, you could argue Daggerfall is bigger, but, Arena has pretty much every single province of Tamriel available from the get-go. And even though it's all there, it's kind of randomly generated. But there's a ton of stuff to do, ton of stuff to see. The quest variety isn't as big as some later games, but there's certainly a lot to do here. Some of the stuff that you see in later games, like the Daedric artifacts, those are all in Arena. A lot of the towns, which unfortunately we won't see in any percent run here. A lot of the towns are the same as you'd see in like Morrowind, to some extent Oblivion, and Skyrim. Like Winterhold is the town we went to in Skyrim. Ebon Keep? Ebon something? In Morrowind. And the Imperial City, of course. The Imperial City is kind of the last place you go to. Alright.
You have
good. Alright, next stop, Lalandrul. Oh god, okay. So we got we got ambushed here again, right at the end. Alright, so hopefully it'll be daytime here. In my PB, I got 3 ambushes. This looks like night. Okay. Alright, come on. So we need some luck here. Yeah, we got some good luck. Excellent. Okay, good. Alright, so this is Lilandril. This is where the High Elves are from, I think? This is one of the longer runs that you have to do to a quest giver. They're almost always going to be in a Mage's Guild. And as far as memorization goes for the run, you really only have to memorize the first dungeon, the dungeon we go to over and over again, and then the routes to the quest givers in town. So it's pretty easy, considering the run isn't that long. It's also probably the most consistent, I want to say, Elder Scrolls run. Because besides the RNG for ambushes, there really isn't too much that can go super wrong here. But be forewarned, this is a very old DOS game, and things could go wrong. Like, out of your control. And so as not to jinx myself, I won't even mention the ways that the run could die. But there's only a few ways that the run could die. Alright. Almost done with Somerset Isle. So let's see here. The stuff that you're supposed to be doing as intended here. Arena and Daggerfall are a bit different from the later Elder Scrolls games in that they used written riddles and like word puzzles a whole lot in their stuff, rather than like combat challenges and dialogue stuff in later ones. Okay, do we get Spooky Ghost? No, we didn't. Okay. High Rock. So sometimes you can get lucky there with getting an ambush and then a Spooky Ghost afterwards, and then you can do the sleepwalking trick to make it work out. Oh, sick. Okay. All right. So not only did this make it daytime, it gave us Spooky Ghost. And what we get? Okay, we got lucky here with the weather. Good. Oh god. So any stationary thing like a lamppost or an NPC has collision in this game. Wandering NPCs do not have collision. So you got to be careful when you're going through town to avoid the stuff that doesn't move, because those things will just ruin you. Alright, come on. So another thing to mention here that I didn't before is that the fastest way to move in Arena is Strafe Running. If you couldn't tell from the keyboard overlay that I have. And in order to properly play Arena, you pretty much have to rebind the controls, which also makes playing the game as intended way worse. Because, like I mentioned before, there are riddles you have to type out. And when I say type out, I mean like letter by letter. If the riddle says like spell the sun or something, you actually have to type in SUN. So have fun doing that if you rebound any of those keys. Which is also why I mentioned at the very, very, very start why we can't have custom character names for this in a marathon run. Because a lot of the keys on the keyboard for me are rebound. So that's why we gotta go with Puri. As it just so happens, Puri is not rebound on my keyboard. But as far as the structure here goes of the main quest, Spooky Ghost Lady tells you that there's somebody who can help you. In one of the capital cities of the land. So you go there, talk to somebody. It's either going to be royalty or somebody in the Mages Guild or a priest. Okay. Oh, okay, we got ambushed. Alright. Off to Black Marsh, Stormhold. Okay. So then the person there asks you for a favor, essentially, is what the first quest is usually going to be. Okay. So you go do their quest and return to them, and they'll give you the location of where the staff piece actually is. And you go to the dungeon that they send you to, and that's where the staff piece is going to be. And then you rest again. Spooky Ghost Lady tells you about the next person in the next province, and then you just continue on with that rotation. Yeah, the rotation just happens to be a lot shorter when you're doing it this way, though. Alright. So we've only got a few more trips to the dungeon here. So you can, you might have noticed a couple times during this that I get stuck, like, inside of walls a bit. That's part of the engine of Arena. As far as, like, magic flexibility goes, Arena might as well have one of the most flexible magic systems in all the Elder Scrolls. Because, unlike all the other games in the series, Arena actually has destructible level stuff. Like, there's a spell to create walls, and there's a spell to destroy floors, ceilings, and also walls. So if you wanted to, and if your character had a ton of MP, you could just destroy every single wall between you and wherever you wanted to go. It would take a long time, because it takes forever for the spell to cast, and it takes up a ton of MP to actually use, but you could theoretically do that. Which isn't really something you can do in later Elder Scrolls. And that's mostly because Arena is more tile-based than other games in the series. Alright, please give me Spooky Ghost. Okay. Alright. Off to Marwyn. Alright. So, we have the opportunity here to possibly world record. Possibly. Okay. Alright. So this is the last trip through town, and that was kind of the last opportunity for the game to troll me with a nighttime thing. So if I do everything perfectly here, this could be the new world record for Arena. We'll see, though. We'll see. Alright, Hammerfell. Stonekeep. Alright. So, we've almost collected all 8 pieces of the Staff of Chaos. That's what we're doing now. We're on the first leg of the Morrowind section here, where I believe they want you to go to Mount whatever, the important mountain from, I guess, Red Mountain's what it's called. From Morrowind. And that's where one of the dungeons is, I think. So we did that. We just totally went to Red Mountain, I guess. And now we just went back and talked to the King of Morrowind in Ebonheart, or something, wherever that place is called. And now we are on our last trip. Oh, geez. Okay. Actually, that was a late split. That's... never mind. That's actually intended. Because you... for the last trip here... Alright. We could still have this. That one always weirds me out. So anyways, we got the last piece of the Staff of Chaos. And now we're going to be heading to the Imperial Dungeons. Where Jagar Tharn currently is, the guy who kidnapped the Emperor. And we're going to go and free the Emperor. Because now we've remade the Staff of Chaos with all 8 pieces. We can break the magical green jewel thing, the Sims jewel, which you'll see soon. That is keeping the Emperor prisoner. Alright. And that's the new world record for Arena. So here you go, here's the ending. So we picked up a piece of paper 17 times, and you'll see the results of doing that. So I had much better luck here in terms of ambushes. And my speed stat was slightly higher this time, so I was able to move faster than I was in my my PB. So this, here we go. Here's the payoff for all that arenaing.
You must not! The jewel holds my life force!
So we picked up a piece of paper 17 times, we made a man's face melt. Welcome to Elder Scrolls.
Thou art truly a child of the Empire. I thank thee for thy assistance. I have a particular idea as to the question of your service in mind. From this day forth, thou art named the Eternal Champion. From thy hand shall be dealt the needs of the Empire. I, Uriel Septim, true Emperor of Tamriel, do decree and thus make law. Arise, my champion, and take thy rightful place at my side.
Alright. That's how you save the Emperor in Elder Scrolls Arena. And as is tradition for arena runs here, we have something very important to do. But first things first. We have to leave town and go out into the wilderness here. We're gonna put up our dukes, and we're gonna rest for a while. So, as is tradition in arena runs, we show this.
Listen to me. There are no others left to carry on this fight.
So for whatever reason, they swapped the voices and portraits of Spooky Ghost Lady and Jagar Tharn here. So that's part one. The second part is Arena Fight Club. Let's see if I can win Arena Fight Club. Oh, it's 2-on-1. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Alright. Well, okay, so thank you for your consideration. I'm also going to be submitting the sequel to this, The Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, as part of the Elder Scrolls Anthology Relay. Thank you for your consideration, and I'll see you at SGDQ.